Responding to critics, Nehemiah chapter 4. Can you live in today's world without critics? Take a stance on anything and you will have supporters. There's a publication, politician, physician, and pastor to validate you. And still, you will have critics. Critique in and of itself is not bad. Some things need to be refined, and criticism can help that. We pay attention to movie and food critics so as not to waste time or money on bland food and boring films. However, sometimes criticism is unfair, unkind, and very distracting. Oftentimes, criticism comes against what is most true, noble, and good. Nehemiah and the people were well into rebuilding. The wall was half built because the people had a mind to work. They knew what they were working toward, and they had a vision for what Jerusalem could be again. What started as a burden in Nehemiah's heart now began to take shape, stone upon stone. And some didn't like it. One critic said, "Will they revive stones from the heaps of rubbish, stones that are burned?" Another critic said, "Whatever they build, if even a fox goes up on it, he will break down their stone wall." When Nehemiah first heard these criticisms, he jumped on his keyboard and started typing. Wait, this is a different time period. Nehemiah prayed to the Lord, a bold prayer, which resembles an imprecatory psalm. It shows us that it's not wrong to get angry with your critics, but it's best to leave it to God to sort out justice. The next wave of criticism came with more aggression and a plan to attack and confuse. Again, the people prayed to God, and because of the critics, they set a watch against them day and night. You may have a physical critic in your life, and you would do well to pray about how to respond. But there is certainly a spiritual critic in your life who does not rest from accusing you day and night before God. Therefore, neither should you let down your watch. The work continued in spite of opposition. Nehemiah reassessed the plan and reassured the people. Men were given swords, spears, and bows to protect their wives and kids. The builders worked with a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other. They had a good offense and defense. Too much attention on the work, and they would open themselves up to the attacks of their critics. Too much attention on their critics, and the work of rebuilding Jerusalem would cease. The people's best way of responding to their critics was to not be afraid and to remember the Lord who is great and awesome. If the criticism became too much for any one person to bear, the trumpet would sound and the people of God would rally together, knowing God would fight for them. You may have 1,000 critics, but only one opinion matters, and that's God's.